The last lesson of Chapter 5 is focusing on fraction subtraction, specifically mixed number subtraction, where we're going to have to borrow. So, let me just jump right into it. And you see a note here, this is easiest to do vertically. So my first example, I have 4 3/8 minus 2 5/8. And this example already has a common denominator. So subtraction still works the same way subtraction has always worked, from right to left. So we have to do the fractions first, then we can do the whole numbers. The problem is 3 minus 5 doesn't work. It never has. Now, if we were doing something like, for example, 43 minus 25, we would just go, okay, I'm going to borrow from the 4, make you 13. And we could do that. We've got the same idea, but borrowing works differently with fractions. I am going to steal from the 4. The 4 is now 3. But this 3 is not 13. Okay, let's explore that for a second. I borrowed 1 from a 4, because 4 is a whole number. So I borrowed 1 from it. So what we're doing here is we're adding 1 to 3/8. 1 can be represented as any fraction by putting the number over itself. So 1 is 8/8. It's 7/7, 6/6, 5/5, 12/12. 1 is just the number over itself. 3/8 plus 8/8 is something we are allowed to do. That's 11/8. And we're going to leave it in its improper form. I need it that way. The 3 becomes 11, not 13. There is a shortcut to this. Okay? You could do this every single time. You're not going to want to. I don't want to. Instead, the fraction was 3/8, right? Well, look at these two parts. Isn't 3 plus 8 11? When you borrow in a subtraction problem with a mixed number, take 1 off of the whole number. To get the new numerator of your fraction, all you're going to do is add the two parts of the fraction. You're just simply going to say, okay, instead of it becoming 13, it's going to become 3 plus 8 is 11. Once you got that, now we're back to normal subtraction. 11 minus 5 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. And you can't leave this as an answer because 6 over 8 simplifies. 6 over 8 is really 3 over 4. So 1 3/4 is the answer. For my next example, here we don't have common denominators. So we are going to need to mess with these fractions a bit. So what is the common denominator? Well, does 3 go into 12? Yes. So 12 is the common denominator. That means the bottom fraction gets to stay 7/12. The top fraction, how does 3 become 12 for the bottom? Times 4. So we'll do the same thing to the numerator. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we're almost in business. We have the common denominator, but we can't subtract yet because we don't have a bigger number on top. 4 minus 7 doesn't work. So we borrow. 8 becomes a 7. And let's use our shortcut here. Instead of working it all out, 4 doesn't become 14. 4 becomes 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 is our new numerator. Now we can subtract. 16 minus 7 is 9 over 12. 7 minus 4 is 3. 9/12 does simplify, so 3 3/4 is our answer. Feel free to pause the video and actually attempt these on your own. I'm going to go ahead and get through solving them. We have 2.5. Whoops. Now we have 2.5. Minus 1 and 5/6. Those don't have a common denominator. The common denominator is 6, though. Our top becomes 3/6. So, I can't do 3 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow from the 2. That becomes a 1. 3 does not become 13. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 minus 5 is 4/6. 1 minus 1 is nothing. I don't need to write the 0. I will literally write nothing. 4/6, of course, reduces. The answer is 2/3. And on the last example, both fractions are going to have to change. So let's see, the common denominator, 9, no, 4 doesn't go into 18, 4 doesn't go into 27. Looks like the common denominator is 36. Well, this is going to be fun. So how does 9 become 36? Multiplication with 4. So 1 times 4 in the numerator is 4. In the bottom part, how does 4 become 36? Multiplication with 9. So 1 times 9 is 9. Now, 4 minus 9 doesn't work. So I'm going to borrow from the 12. And yeah, I'm going to treat the 12 as a single number. 12 becomes 11. 4 doesn't become 14. It becomes 40. 36 plus 4 is 40. 40 minus 9 is 31 over 36. 11 minus 7 is 4. 31 and 36 don't simplify, so we are done with this problem.